Can I work for a Spanish company as a digital nomad? Do I have to register with Social Security in Spain? Can I apply for the permit while I am in Spain as a tourist? These are some of the most common questions about the digital nomad visa in Spain. And here is the problem. Many people make important decisions based on incomplete information or information that is simply wrong. I'm Gerard, marketing responsible at Balcells Group, and in today's video I'm going to clearly answer the most common questions about this permit so that you can understand how it really works and avoid mistakes that could lead to a rejection. Before talking about the requirements, we need to understand what being a digital nomad legally means in Spain. This permit is designed for international workers who want to live in the country while carrying out an employment or professional activity remotely for companies located outside Spain using computer, telematic, or telecommunication systems. This means that not every online job qualifies. The activity must be able to be carried out fully remotely, and it should not require physical presence, in-person supervision, commercial visits, or tasks that depend on being physically present in another country. Who can apply and who this permit does not apply to? The digital nomad permit is aimed at third country nationals. In other words, people who are not citizens of the European Union, the European Economic Area, or Switzerland. The applicant must also be of legal age. If you are a European Union citizen, you only need to obtain the EU certificate, which proves your registration in the Central Register of Foreign Nationals as an EU citizen. However, if you are from a country outside the European Union and you want to live in Spain while working for a foreign company or for international clients, this permit can be a very interesting option. Self-employed or employee, it's not the same. One of the most common questions is, can I apply for the digital nomad visa if I am a self-employed worker? The answer is yes, but with conditions. If you are self-employed, you must prove a real professional relationship with a company located outside Spain. Normally, this is proven through invoices issued to that client, and that relationship must have existed for at least 3 months before the application. The administration may ask for evidence that there is a real stable activity that is compatible with this permit. On the other hand, if you are an employee, you will need to prove your employment relationship with the foreign company. And here, there is a very important point. If you are an employee in Spain, you can only work remotely for that foreign company. If you are self-employed, there is a bit more flexibility, so as you can also work for companies located in Spain, but that activity with Spanish companies cannot exceed 20% of your total professional activity. This point creates a lot of confusion because many people think that the digital nomad permit allows them to work freely in Spain, and that's not the case. Social Security, the point that causes the most problems. Many people focus on income, the contract, or health insurance, but they forget that working from Spain creates obligations in the country, and one of them is being correctly registered with Social Security. If you are an employee, the foreign company may need to register with the Spanish Social Security system as a non-resident entity in order to register you under the general regime. In some cases, if there is an international Social Security agreement between Spain and the country of origin, it must be possible to keep that foreign coverage, but this must be properly proven. If you are self-employed, the situation is more direct. You must register as a self-employed in Spain under the RETA system, and in this case, registration is mandatory. This is not a minor detail. If you obtain the authorization and do not register correctly, the administration may review your case later. And if they detect that you did not comply with this obligation, they may terminate your authorization automatically. This would affect not only the main applicant, but also the dependent family members who obtain the residence linked to your permit. General requirements you must meet. In addition to the employment or professional relationship and Social Security, there are other important requirements. First, you cannot be in Spain irregularly at the time of the application. This is especially important for people who enter Spain as tourists and wait too long before starting the process. You must also have no criminal record in Spain or in the countries where you have lived during the previous years. Another important point is health insurance. Not every insurance policy is valid. It must provide valid coverage equivalent to healthcare coverage in Spain unless your situation is covered through registration with the Spanish Social Security system. And of course, you must prove sufficient financial means. For the main applicant, the required amount is equivalent to 200% of the monthly minimum wage in Spain. If you include family members, you must prove additional amounts, an additional 75% of the minimum wage for a family unit of 2 people, and then 25% of the minimum wage for each additional family member. If you have made it this far, you have probably already realized something important. The digital nomad permit can be a great opportunity. That's why if you want our team to analyze your case and help you define the best strategy before submitting your application, you can book a consultation with Balcel Group using the code YouTube10 and get that 10% discount. You will find the link in the video description. One of the great advantages of this permit is that it allows you to include certain family members. They can apply for the visa or authorization together with you or later. This includes your spouse or partner, your minor children, adult children who are financially dependent on you and have not created their own family unit, and dependent ascendants. Also, family members who obtain the authorization can live and work in Spain without restrictions, both as employees and as self-employed workers. But this also means that the application must be well prepared from the beginning, because if the main applicant's permit has problems, it can also affect the linked family authorizations. Where to apply from, Spain or the consulate? If you are outside Spain, the correct option is to go through the Spanish consulate and apply for an international teleworker visa. That visa authorizes you to live and work in Spain for 1 year. Then, when there are 60 days left before the visa expires, and as long as it is still valid, you can apply for the initial residence authorization as an international teleworker. If you're already in Spain, for example, as a tourist, it may be possible to apply directly for the residence authorization from Spanish territory, but this must be done before you fall into an irregular situation and with all the documentation ready. Special cases that create many doubts. What happens if my foreign company has a branch in Spain? Here you will need to be careful. Then we may not be talking about the digital nomad permit, but about a different immigration route, the intra-company transfer. Another common doubt appears with people who have a non-lucrative residence visa, which many think, if I already live legally in Spain and I work online for a foreign company, can I switch to the digital nomad permit? The lucrative residence does not authorize you to work, therefore you cannot use as a basis as a remote work activity that you have been carrying out while holding an authorization that did not allow you to work. Doing so could mean admitting to an unauthorized work activity, and that can create problems in your application. However, if you have a stay authorization for higher education studies that does allow you to work, the situation may be different, as in that case you may be able to apply for the authorization as an international teleworker as long as you have been correctly registered with Social Security from the moment you started providing services for the foreign company for at least 3 continuous months. The digital nomad permit is one of the best ways to live legally in Spain if you work remotely for a foreign company or international client. If you want us to analyze your case and help you define the best immigration strategy, you can contact us at info@balcelgroup.com. And if you want to stay updated with all the latest information about immigration in Spain, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so that you don't miss anything. See you in the next video.